MeterBox and Octominer are teaming up for another exciting giveaway. Win the latest proof of useful work Octoserver E10 and X8 Ultra Plus and more. Introducing the limited edition Octominer box set by MeterBox. It includes the 125-volt and 250-volt meter boxes, a special NFT, stickers, and a keychain. Hurry, only 250 box sets available. Visit themeterbox.com now to secure yours today. Purchase the Octominer box set and unlock a secret code for 1,000 entries. Plus, earn an extra 1,000 entries and receive that collectible NFT. Don't miss out. The contest ends July 30th.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Mike, Hawk Crypto, and today I got Mike, the lead developer from Verus Coin. Mike, how are you, man? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, doing great. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Dude, awesome. I just got into CPU mining. Like, I'm not really big into it, but I got my third rig up and running, and I'm all in on Verus. So, Mike, tell me about yourself. How did you come into Verus Coin?
I was one of the founders, actually, and I've got some decades of experience. I was one of the two recognized founders of .NET, but I founded the .NET platform at Microsoft.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I started at their Java effort before that. I was the lead developer for kernel on Windows 95.
Okay.
And I've done actually a lot of like operating system level, assembly language, which is kind of leads into the whole why we're doing CPU or how we're even able to keep CPU mining working in the world of FPGAs and everything else.
Right.
So I've got about, over 4 decades of, development. I took a little detour for some nanomaterial patenting and invention that I did, and then I came back to software. So
nice. Awesome.
And so as a founder, we started it no pre-mine, no ICO, with a goal of making an unlimited scale network that everybody in the world can use.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people in the community are getting more interested in CPU mining because it is a little bit more profitable right now than GPUs. People are pivoting, and I think it's great, and we're seeing an increase in hash rates, and it's awesome. And honestly, I never CPU mined before. I've been a GPU miner hardcore, so for me, it was just like a whole new thing, but I understood it. I'm a little tech savvy, but I have to ask members of the community at times for help. So tell me, what's the purpose of Verus Coin? What is it trying to achieve aside from other CPU mineable coins?
So actually, or aside from all networks, period, about Verus Coin, we launched it May 21st, 2018, a little over 5 years ago. And when we launched it, we published a vision paper about 5 years ago that described this vision, because we're a community. It's an open community. There's not a company. It's a protocol like Bitcoin.
Right.
And the vision was really enabling crypto to scale and function, to have identity, but privacy, to have, because we have zero knowledge privacy with sapling compatible addresses that, enable people to actually do private transactions for real, and identities that integrate with that. So the idea was a network that everyone in the world could use, that could be used for elections, for, AI training data was one of the things that it was actually, but that would scale to the billions of people in the world. And so, our goal was, not our goal, our requirement was not to compromise decentralization.
Right.
So now what we have is an unlimited scale, fully decentralized internet of value that can connect to other blockchain networks, but is itself an unlimited scale blockchain network with identity and DeFi and privacy and all of the things that people actually want.
Nice.
So,
that's great. Now that kind of leads into my next question. Tell me about PBASS. What's it stand for again? I'm sorry.
Public blockchains as a service.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Sure. So the idea is that, Verus is a single blockchain. It's got a lot of bandwidth. It's got, more bandwidth than either the Ethereum or the Bitcoin blockchain, but it's a single blockchain. And, everyone says, oh, blockchains won't scale. Well, so here's kind of the catch. If you think that you're going to have the one blockchain to rule them all, and you think it's decentralized, but you're going to centralize on a single blockchain, then I guess you'd be right.
Right.
But if you actually want the world to scale, and you can scale out, and then we can do things a little bit differently. And so PBASS, Public Blockchains as a Service, allows anyone to launch blockchains from the Verus network using the Verus PBASS protocol. And when they do, they don't create a side chain or an L2 or, they create a completely new but connected and independent blockchain. It doesn't pay any rent back to Verus. It runs on its own. It has all the capabilities and functionality of Verus. So it solves MEV, first project to solve MEV that I know of in the, by solving all of the DeFi transactions in a single block. It takes all of the fees that are earned from DeFi transactions and integrates that into the mining and staking protocol.
Nice.
So for a chain that's being used to convert currencies because it's a better model than what you'll find on smart contract platforms, or for a chain that's selling identities that people will use for self-sovereign, provable, secured identities that can be multi-sig and everything else.
Right.
That chain earns fees, and it earns fees, not just the regular transaction fees, bigger fees that are like, conversion fees between currencies. Half of the conversion fees go to people holding the liquidity providers, as they're known, and half go to the miners and stakers. And so basically the chain becomes an economy.
Okay.
It doesn't just emit coins. It earns fees, not just the transaction fees, but for all of the economic and activity on the chain. And those fees end up, and we're probably going to talk about how those fees end up going back to miners. But what PBASS does is it lets any miner mine up to 22 chains at a time on the Verus network and earn rewards on all of them from a single hash.
Wow.
And so if you've got say a new chain, so we have a number of projects that are, I don't want to make promises these are not promises, this is what we have and what's happening, that intend to launch different chains. And when we defined the Verus currency on the PBASS network a couple weeks ago, because it was just a definition.
Right.
But because it's a fully decentralized network, we don't have any special ability to define a chain definition, because it's a definition that's needed for the chain, without paying for it as usual as a fee.
Right.
Okay. So the Verus Coin Foundation defined it, and in doing so paid a fee, which actually made the rewards for all the miners and stakers rise to, close to 10x what the regular block reward was.
Wow.
And that then just goes down over time using this technology that we have built into all PBASS chains, including Verus, called the fee pool.
Nice. Wow.
And so, yeah.
Holy cow. Just lay it on thick, man. That's awesome, dude. Oh my gosh. So,
well, yeah, CPU mining, so just a little aside, when we did this change, so we actually were really like, GPUs could do pretty well on earlier versions of Verus Hash. And I was GPU mining, but then we had FPGA companies come in and secretly, develop algorithms. And so I've got a big, like years and years of development in assembly language and low level languages. And so we just rewrote the algorithm to equalize FPGAs. And in the process, GPUs kind of got dinged. So even though I had at the time like a 14 GPU mining machine and all that stuff, kind of shot myself in the foot, because it was the right thing to do for the network.
Right.
Because now that we're on CPU mining, it's open to the world as it should be.
Right. 100% agree. And it's great to see the progress that you guys have made. Tell me about the fee pool. I know you wanted to move into that after you were explaining PBASS. Explain that to me.
Well, so this is a really important concept for miners and stakers, because if you think about the regular way that you mine on a normal, on more traditional today's blockchains,
right?
You take all the transactions that you have from the mempool that you can fit into your block. You sort them by how much you're going to earn from them. and then you collect all the fees from all the transactions. You take those fees in your output as well as the block reward.
Right.
So the fee pool makes that all work a little differently, and there's a big reason for it. So right now our block rewards, the actual reward itself is 6. We had, when we launched IDs on the network, that was about a little over 3 years ago. We had a block that was 6,000 Verus in fees.
Wow.
And that's because the IDs are purchased from the chain. It's not a centralized system. And so the miners and the stakers earn money from IDs. And with PBASS, miners and stakers they earn money from IDs, just as they always have. They earn money from currency launches, which are now anyone can launch currencies. It's a command. You don't need to write an ERC20 or Solidity contract.
Right.
But your currency can be sent over to an Ethereum and it pops out as an ERC20 like automatically. So you kind of have no downside. It's just a great platform for launching currencies without having to do programming.
Right.
And when you launch a currency, that's a higher fee than an ID.
Right.
And when you launch a blockchain, that's actually 10,000 Verus to launch a blockchain.
Okay.
So half of those fees, when you launch it, go into the fee pool.
Right.
And the way the fee pool works is, so the miner takes all of the fees they can from all of the transactions in a block, including half of the launch fee. So like 5,000 Verus on a blockchain launch, or 100 Verus on a currency launch, or anywhere from 20 to 100 Verus for every ID.
Right.
Okay. They take all those fees and they put them in the fee pool. So now they're added to this kind of ongoing fee pool.
Right.
And then they take 1/100th of all the fees from the cumulative fee pool, both what they put in and everything from before.
Right. Okay. I understand.
And so what it really serves as is it just kind of smooths out the returns, because a lot of the things that people do, they pay for the blockchain functionality being used over time. They're basically paying for this functionality to the people running the blockchain,
Right.
because they need to use their computers to do it. And so then this fee pool is something that you could be running along. You're at 6, like this happened a few weeks ago. The reward's like 6, maybe it's 6 point something, because somebody bought some IDs or they launched a currency. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's 8. But the actual reward isn't necessarily the reward you're going to see. And then the next block, all of a sudden you got a reward of 56.
Right. Okay.
And so that actually can and will start happening, because this Saturday, we've been running at PBASS is live on mainnet, but we recognized some things on testnet and we turned on an oracle, and basically the network is right now holding off on all the PBASS functions until Saturday.
Okay. So Saturday you're going to officially launch PBASS.
It's launched. It's just that it's all live on testnet. It's all proving itself out.
Right.
The last release, and this, I don't know when this is going to publish, but we had a release that was, will it be the mandatory release? It will be.
Right.
And so this coming Saturday, people are likely to start launching more currencies and launching, chains. And then the Ethereum bridge launch is going to be a really big, because that's another half of a gateway fee. So that's actually quite a high fee coming in. And then as it starts going, we kind of expect that people are just going to be using it for these different things.
Right.
And so the model is that over time, block rewards are probably not going to matter as much as everybody thinks.
Right.
It's really how much people use the chains. And then when you launch a chain, so it's when somebody comes along and says, okay, we want to launch, like there's a project called Chips that's going to be launching a chain at some point. I don't know when. It's their project and they decide. When they do, the first thing that happens is the block rewards on Verus go up, and that's a signal. If you see the block rewards go up like that, go look for what is launching, because the next thing that happens is when that chain launches,
Mhm.
everybody can merge mine it starting at block 1.
Wow.
And everybody who starts merge mining it is going to earn the other half of those fees as Verus tokens, as well as the native reward on that other chain. And they can send those Verus tokens back to the Verus blockchain, and they're just native Verus currencies at that point.
Wow. That's man, that's heavy. That's great though, because we ask a lot of questions in this community. We go, what problems are you fixing in a general consensus, right? We do, Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live, we do viewer call-ins, and a lot of the community members, one in particular, actually, he's gonna watch this. He always asks the question, and I like this. He goes, okay, cool. What problem are you solving? And it looks like Verus is coming in and solving a ton of problems, and that's a great thing. Honestly, it's a breath of fresh air, because a lot of these projects that are releasing are just, what are they doing? Okay, you're just another proof of work crypto, and it could be a garbage coin or whatever, and it's just honestly, I think it makes us look bad as a whole. So when a company or yourself and Verus come in,
not a company,
right? Well, when a community like Verus comes together and creates this project and says, hey, we're gonna fix some of these problems, man, let me tell you something, it's great. So I want to move on to exchanges now. Are there any plans to get on major exchanges? I can only imagine that with the growth that you guys are having, it's definitely something that's going to be on the forefront. Am I right?
Yes and no, and I'll explain what I mean.
Okay, perfect. Please.
So here's the thing. We've actually, if you've been around, probably you've been around for some years in crypto, we've actually been on some of the larger exchanges in the past that either got hacked or kind of just had a collapse or these things. And basically our experience as a community has been, we're not an ICO. We're not trying to sell people things as much as we're trying to actually build infrastructure that the world needs when we know that.
Right. And
we are solving a lot of the problems. And one of the problems that so I think it was BitThumb Global. We had some issues with them, and I think they still are an exchange that has Verus. But when we started having these challenges, we just came to the conclusion that all these exchanges pretend like they have to take money to show that we as a community coin that's been around for how long, doing hard work and upgrading and doing these new technologies, that we're the ones who aren't the scam. Like, really?
Right.
We've never been a scam, and nobody has that question at all. And yet they still seem to want money to have the ability to buy and sell our currency, but we're more like Bitcoin. So let's just make it so that we don't need any exchanges anymore ever.
Right.
And so that's what we did. And so basically we actually have in Verus PBAAS, as soon as the ETH bridge goes live, which I believe is going to be, yes, we do expect that there will be other exchanges listing us, but we're not going to try.
Right.
And we actually think that it's going to happen because we are on some exchange. Like Trade Ogre is a really well-known kind of OG exchange. We've got Safe Trade that came along and said, you guys are a great project, we're going to list you, and they've been like in supporting people, helping people,
right.
Like they're just like on it all the time, and it's been years, and so okay, they can grow with us, and so this what we have in PBASS, which we didn't talk about, we have unlimited, the first truly decentralized unlimited DeFi.
Wow.
So we actually have the ability with this ETH bridge, every single currency, you can launch currencies on Verus, and you can send them over to Ethereum, and they pop out as an ERC20.
Right.
You can launch a blockchain on Verus, and every currency you can launch on that blockchain, which you don't pay Verus to do that. That's an independent blockchain.
Right.
You can also send those over to Ethereum, and they pop out as an ERC20. But you know what else you can do? Is you can send DAI and Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin and any other currencies that are on Ethereum. You can send them over to Verus, and you can put them on the Verus marketplace on chain, and you don't have to pay exchange fees, or you can just send them to Verus. You can just convert them to Verus as you send them over, and they go through the first and only DeFi that actually solves MEV.
Right.
What that means is everyone who's converting currencies at any volume, basically it's just a direct plug to all the liquidity you'd ever need. Anyone who's converting currencies at any volume, if you've got 1,000 transactions, you can have 1,000 transactions in a minute in a single liquidity basket, and it won't make the chain sweat. So you have 1,000 transactions in a minute, going back and forth between, say, DAI, Euro coin, Verus, Ethereum, whatever these are, in a single block, or sometimes in more than one block, because we solve MEV even between blocks. All of those transactions in a liquidity pool, they're all solved simultaneously. We're the only protocol to do that.
Wow.
And what that means is every single person in all directions, they get the same price with no spread. And so they all get the same price in the different directions, and all they pay is a 0.025% fee to go into the liquidity basket and a 0.025% fee to come out. So if they're going like Verus to Ethereum or Ethereum to Verus or DAI to Verus or Verus to DAI, it's totally permissionless. Send it, it converts. It's all transparent on chain. There's no smart contract. You can see everything happening, all the numbers. You can see the prices, how they're calculated, everything. You get estimates that are real. And you can do it that way, or you can do atomic swaps on chain, because all of that's built into the protocol.
Wow.
So yeah,
crazy.
We have exchanges. We have people who are working on the fiat in and out, but you can also just send any crypto you've got that runs on Ethereum to Verus. It can be more secure. You can hold it on lockable IDs, and you can send it like water between any currency that's on Verus and any other currency that's on Verus. And if you don't have a liquidity basket that matches up the ones you want, make one. It's permissionless.
Wow, man, let me tell you, this is a breath of fresh air, man. I mean, it's great to hear this. I love what you guys are doing. I started mining it probably a couple weeks ago. It's the first CPU first CPU mineable coin I've ever mined. So
I did think we might talk about hardware and stuff, because I see that some people are doing the 7900s.
I have it.
And,
I have one 7900 running right now.
I'm mining with a 7950. I think it's a better, yeah. Actually, mine looks kind of the same, so we might have the same machine. So,
I have a 7950X 3D that I built for my gaming machine, but I think I'm gonna buy another one because I saw what the hash rates were, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I should get another one.
But I gotta tell you something else, and for you and your viewers, okay? So the other thing I bought, but I haven't had time to set it up because, working on the code, is these Orange Pi 5B, or the 5s.
Right.
They're wireless. I don't know their exact hash rate, but it's going to be somewhere in the 4 mega hash range, somewhere most likely.
Right.
And they're like 10 to 15 watts.
Wow.
So
crazy efficient.
The other thing is phones.
Yep.
You'll get a better hash to watt ratio. So, there's a lot of options, and
there's a member of our
community. I think in the next few weeks, all of us are going to be happy with what we see on the rewards.
Dude, I'm so excited. There's a member of our community who has the cell phone farm. I mean, he's got to have. I don't know if you know who he is. His name is Retro Mike Tech. He's got tons.
I've seen some posts, but nothing else.
Yeah, he's got tons of phones, and he's actually the one that got me into it, because he was like, here's a sneak peek. Here you go, mine Verus.
Yeah,
and I listen to Mike, and Mike's a great dude. Funny you mentioned hardware, because Nerd Gears had a Ryzen 7 1700 for sale for $60, right? And Mike sends me a message on Discord at like 2 a.m. He's like, hey,
get it.
I said, why? He goes, 20 mega hash on Verus. He says, for $60, buy it. And I bought it. But by the time I hit buy, I went back to refresh the page and they were sold out. So, and they had like 20 or 30 of them apparently. So it's been great, man. I can't wait to get these rigs up and running.
Just one thing to think about as you scale up your hash power, hash per watt, I think it's best with the smaller, the fast arms like the Orange Pi or the phones.
Okay. Yeah,
As you scale up your hash power, it might matter more.
You know, I have another iPhone laying around. Maybe I can use that. Can we do it on the iPhone?
I wouldn't use an iPhone, but
No?
I heard they're not necessarily the best miners.
He's got them on Android phone, so maybe I'll call
Right.
Mike and see if I can.
That's what people are doing. I got to get into it. I'll get into it soon.
Dude, that's crazy. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the channel and talking about Verus, man. It's been great interview. You're awesome. I look forward to seeing what the project brings to light. So
thank you.
Thanks so much, Mike. We're out of here, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, check out Verus Coin, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hawk out.